Hey everybody, are you able to hear me? Confirmation. Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to the Unacademy platform and hope you are doing well. Today we are going to make an effort and try to memorize all the standards on auditing, and we'll be doing it in a way which is very easy, which is very fun. Okay. So that session will be starting in just in 2 minutes time. Before that, I have a few announcements to make. We'll be having special classes on Unacademy, and in that we'll be ensuring that you're learning in a very effective manner. So you can ask your doubts via screenshots and writing your voice chat. You can voice chat with us, and you can do a live special class. You can take live quizzes and polls and get real-time ranking on that. And you can follow my profile and get notified whenever I am live. Okay. A subscription that is more than just a class, it will ensure that you're learning in a very effective manner and your learning is going on in a way that helps with that reflects in your marks too. Okay. Next area is the subscription that is more than just classes, that is plus, and the iconic area. On iconic, you can see that you get, other than the India's top educators, live interactive classes, structured courses and PDFs, tests and quizzes. More than that, you get personal coach, printed books that are delivered at your doorstep, then evaluated test series and discussion channels are also available. Okay. That we have the plus subscription, wherein if you take the subscription and type there Yeshas Live, you'll get a 10% off on that, and which will really help you in your studies, and you can do it at a relatively lower cost. Okay. Then for iconic subscription for 12 months, the rate is 3.3188 per month and 38250. That is in total. Again, for this, you get a 10% off, and if you type the code Yeshas Live. And finally, get 10% off if you use the code Yeshas Live. And here, uh, Unacademy CA Inter Mega Combat free scholarship. There is a chance that you can win an iPad mini from Apple and a lot more, and win prizes worth INR rupees 1 crore. Okay. You can take all these facilities, all the benefits that Unacademy has to offer, and ensure that you're learning with fun and you're learning in a very effective manner, even during this pandemic on online mode. Okay. Now, boys and girls, let's enter this area and let's look at what we are going to see. Okay. Today we are going to do memorizing of all the standards on auditing, with a very nice story called as the Puruna Story. Okay, this I got some time in my lockdown and ensure that there is a very nice effective story in place that we can learn and ensure that this story gets to your mind. Okay, so let's start this session and ensure that whatever queries you have, whatever issues are there, you can ask me, and then we can go ahead with this. Okay. Everyone, let's join. Let's see this. Okay, let's see this. Now, imagine this person here. Okay, he wants to employ around 100 persons. Wants to employ 200 persons. Now, this is this person's life's objective to appoint 200 persons. Okay. Now, these 200 persons who are there, that is his life's objective, as I told you. You catch the word objective. It is his life's objective to ensure that he's giving employment to 200 persons. Now, in order for this to happen or to fulfill his plan, he goes to a room called as room 210 where his friends are waiting for him. Okay. And he goes there and he speaks to them and he tells them about his plan, how he wants to start a garment company and how he wants to employ 200 persons. His friends are very impressed, very happy, because he tells them about everything. He tells them about his ambitions, and they are very, very happy. They are very glad to hear him. So he comes back, and he's also very happy that his friends have agreed to his terms and they are also okay with the plan. Okay. Now, what happens is they all decide that we need to ensure that we are providing quality control. Now, when they said that we need to ensure we need to provide quality control, they looked at the clock, and at the clock, the time was 20 p.m. And at 2:20 p.m. sharp, they saw that they said the words that they have to ensure that the work is done in a qualitative manner, in a very proper manner, that is with quality control. After that, they found out 230 areas, and they jotted their business down, and they saw 230 areas on which they need to improve. Basically, it can be marketing, sales, HR, finance, lot of things, production, processing. Then you have your social media, so many areas. They thought that, okay, let us jot down all the areas in which we need to improve to become a successful business so that we can then start our business. Okay. So they mentioned 230. Okay. After that, they saw that what all laws they need to comply in India. Okay, so they saw there are so many acts. If workers are working with them, you will have the workers your compensation act. Then you will have your all your statutory dues that have to be paid to the employees. You have the Factories Act in India. So all these have to be complied with. So they noted on all the laws, all the laws, GST, income tax act, everything, and they saw that they have to comply with close to 250 laws in India. 250 laws in India. When they saw that, they were shocked, but they were like, okay, we are determined and we sure that we are complying with all these things. After noting all these things down, he went home and he told his mother very proudly that, mother, I'm going to start a company. I'm going to start a company. Okay. Now, the mother did not know what ideas come into his mind. He generally comes up with weird ideas. Okay. The mother had that kind of a thought about him. So mother was like, okay, then what should I tell him? So the mother said the most generic line. Okay, she said, first go clean your room. Okay, or clean your room is a mess. So first go up and clean your room. So the boy was like, okay, I have shared my ambition with my mother, and she asked me to go and clean my room. Okay, so that is something which is, in a very jovial way. She says, I don't know, first go and clean your room, and then we'll talk. Okay. So now this is the first part of the story. You just understand and start to recollect the points from the beginning. Okay. First, there is this boy who wants to employ 200%. Okay, that is his life's objective. He goes to room number 210 and there he speaks to his friends. They speak properly and they agree to the terms and he comes back very happy. Then they see that at 2:20 p.m. exactly, they decide that whatever they'll do it with quality, that is quality control. After that, they jot down the area that they need to improve on, that is called documentation. And finally, they saw the number of laws that they need to comply with, and that was 250 laws in India. They need to comply. They need to comply. Okay. Now, when this was done, he went to his house very happily, told his mother that, Mom, I'm going to start a company. I'm very, very happy to tell you this. But mom tells him that go first clean your room. Go first clean your room. Okay. Now, how do we learn these? These are some of the standards that we are going to learn using this story. Remember, first the boy had an objective. So the objectives of the auditor are given in SA 200, that is objectives of the auditor. He goes to room number 210 and agrees to the terms with his friends. That is called SA 210. That is nothing but agreeing the terms of the audit engagement. And after that, you have SA 220. That is at 2:20 p.m. sharp. They decide that whatever service they provide, they'll provide with quality. That is SA 220. That is quality. After that, you have SA 230. That is audit documentation. That everything needs to be documented. Working papers need to be maintained. That is nothing but in relation to audit documentation. After that, they saw that they have to comply 250 laws, very simple laws and regulations. That what I say, 250. He tells his mother, who is mother, what role does a mother play in the house? She is the main person in charge of governance. Okay. So the boy communicates with those charged with governance. Boy communicates with those charged with governance and tells his mother that I'm going to start a company. Mother tells the boy, go first clean your room, go first clean your internal mess. That is nothing but mother first tells that you have to take care of the deficiency in internal control. Room is, let's say, an internal control, and the mess is the deficiency that the mother tells, go first clean your room. That is SA 265, a deficiency in internal control. Okay. Now, if you see here, we have somehow noted around 7 standards in the first phase. Okay, to help you remember it. Okay, so let's see, make a summary of that. First is objectives. That is the boys aim to appoint 200 persons. 210 terms of engagement. Okay, the room where they agree the terms. Then at 220 they decide that everything whatever they'll do it with quality. Then they document around 230 areas. Okay, finally they realize that they have to comply with the laws. 240 we'll see later. Okay, wait for that. And then finally, 260 is communication to those charged with governance. Communication to those charged with governance. At the end, you have the internal control deficiency. That is nothing but go clean your. That is 260. You can see here that these are the 7 standards that we have currently done. 240 is pending, but the other standards we have done. And this is in relation to the 200 series. Okay. There is also one more standard in 200 series, that is joint auditor, that we'll see later in the story. wait for that. Now, after that, the story continues. The friends sit on a table, and they basically discuss about things about life and how they need to go about with the company. It's a normal college friends talk where they are relaxing, talking to each other, having fun. So where, but remember, business is the main topic. Okay, they are going to start a business, so they have to be a little serious about it. So the girl tells that, okay, I have great plans, and I made some great plans related to the company regarding the designs, where you are going to sell, and all these things. And she places the books with 300 plans. Imagine 300 plans. But the main boy here, he tells that no, 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 no. Let's think bigger. Okay, let's think bigger. The plans that you're thinking are too small. Let's think bigger and let's go for material things. Okay, so he tells that let's go for material thing. That is, I say 320. That is, I say 320. Now, what happens is with this in mind, the boy and the girl they decide that okay, now our team should think about bigger things. Should have greater ambitions. What happens is they decide to read a lot of books. Okay, they decide to read around 500 books. They decide to do it because they are very very what do you call inexperienced in this field, and they'll be dealing with people who are like having tremendous experience. So they have to read books in relation to their business, that is in relation to clothing, in relation to designing, in relation to the processing and production, and then marketing that, selling that, pricing that. So many books, negotiating that. So many books they have to read. So they are very, very, they're up to the task. They think that okay, let's go and read it now. So they decide to read 500 books, and that is their mean. That is their main goal. Now they read 500 books. When they read all these business books, all these books that are related to their work, they realize that in business there is something called as risk. Risk is something that will come very, very often. Okay, risk is something that will come very, very often. Now, to deal with the risk, they have to also give an effective risk response. They have to also give an effective risk response. Now, when you deal with the risk and you decide to give a risk response, so it means that you are going to tame the risk. You are going to tame the risk. But remember, if you don't respond to the risk effectively, the risk may grow and the risk may become a misstatement. Risk may become a misstatement. And if you don't take care of the misstatement, and if the misstatement is intentional, it means if it's done with heart, if something you're doing and you're doing wrong with heart, you want to do it wrong, it means that it is called as fraud. If intentional, then it can be fraud, and fraud can eat you away. Okay, fraud can eat you away. So this is what they realize about the harsh truths of business. They realize that there can be risk. Risk response has to be given. It can lead to misstatement, and if intentional, then it can lead to. So this is what they understand. This is what they realize. Okay. Now they are wondering that what to do next. Okay, what to do next. So that we'll see in the next part of the story. But here, let's revise this thing quickly, and then we'll see the essay numbers. So the girl says that she has great plans, so she makes 300 plans. The boy says, no, 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 no. We should think about bigger things. Let's think about bigger things, something which is more material. Okay, let's think about something which is more material. So let's think about material things. Okay, that is what the boy says. So the group asks him, okay, what to do. So he says, let's see, we are very inexperienced, so we go through a lot of things about the industry. So let's take up 500 books each, whatever books you like regarding your passion. Let's read that, and then let's just discuss on that on a day-to-day basis. So they decide to read 500 books. That is great. So they are trying to acquire knowledge. All of them realize that in business, risk is apparent. It is you have to respond to the risk effectively. For example, during Corona times, maybe there are so many businesses in India that are dealing with so many risks. So that is, risk will definitely come. You have to always respond to the risk effectively. It can lead to a misstatement. It can lead to a misstatement if it is not tamed. And finally, if it is intentional, then it can be fraud. It can eat you away. Okay. This is what they realize. So now let's see the standard which are connected to this. Remember the story. The girl comes up with 300 plans. So I say 300 is audit planning. Then you have essay 320, that is materiality. Okay, the boy says that think bigger, think about something which is important, that is materiality. Then they read 500 books. 500 books, the reading will give you more information, more evidence. That is nothing but the 500 audit evidence. Then you have the small lion. Okay, lion is the risk. Risk will remember by essay 315. Risk response is essay 330. If the risk is something that can lead to a misstatement, when we say risk, it means risk of material misstatement. And if it leads to misstatement, it is SA 450. And if it is intentional at that period, then it will be called as SA 240. That is fraud. Okay. So simple standards here too. So here we see around 7 standards again. that is SA 300 audit plan, SA 320 materiality, SA 500 that is audit evidence. Then you have SA 315 that is the risk, that is risk of material misstatement. The main standard name goes like identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity and its environment. Then you have SA 330 that is risk response. Then 450 it can be misstatement. 240 is in relation. Okay. Now let's revise this. I said 200 starting of the story. Just try to remember the story. Okay, 200 that is objectives. Then you have 210 terms of agreement, and 220 that is quality control. Then you have 230 that is documentation, and 240 covered later, which we did. Okay, that is fraud. We'll see that. And you have 250 that is laws, compliance. Okay, legal and regulatory requirements, compliances. Then you have communication with those charged with governance, and finally, full deficiency. Now, 300 is plan. Remember the story. Girl comes up with 300 plans. The boy says, think bigger. That is materiality. You have to read 500 books. That is audit evidence. Then you have 315 risk. That is risk of material misstatement. 330 response to the risk. 450 misstatements. And finally, 240 is fraud. Okay. With this, we cover, let's say, around 14 standards. Now we have done properly. Okay. 14 standards. The name and number. I hope it is there in your mind in a very clear cut manner, in a very nice manner, that you are able to recollect it later. Okay. Now let's go ahead with the other part of the story. Now let's see. Okay. Now January 2020, they decided to open their new store. They decided to open their new store. We're fantastic. They started their own store of of different styles of a clothing line. Okay, basically. So they are very, very happy, very, very proud that they started their own store. At 10 they started it, and here let's not take it as 20, let's take it as 20 days. So I'll just change this a little bit, very easy for you to remember. 20 days they sat and they analyzed, but nobody entered the store. Okay, nobody entered the store, nobody came. So they are like, they're analyzing what is going wrong. We gave a grand opening, we called our friends, relatives, everybody came. We gave them clothes at 90% discount. They took some clothes away. Now nobody's coming. Suddenly after discount, 90% discount is over. We ran the opening day at a loss. After 90 days are over, nobody's coming now. Okay. So sorry, 20 days are over, nobody's coming now. So they keep analyzing what is going wrong, what is going wrong, what is going wrong. So they decide that, okay, let's do one thing, that we need to give samples. So on 30th January, they decided that they will give samples. Samples means they'll give it for free. They'll give it to people for free, that people can, try their clothes, get the feel of the material, see the quality, and then maybe they can come back to repurchase from the shop. Okay, that's how they thought that the building the business will be the correct way. This is true also, okay, which is not doubted. So decided to come up with samples. So now the thought process was, okay, now if you are going for samples, then where can we get samples in large quantity and at low price? Okay, where can we get samples at large quantity at low price? So only one country came to their mind, and that is China. Okay, so they estimated that they will need 540 meters of raw material will be required from China, out of which they can make clothes, and these clothes will be then displayed, but people can come and buy it at a lower price, or they will go and give samples to at different places, that people get a feel of that material. Okay, that is, they estimated that 540 meters of raw material will be required from where? From China. Okay. Now, this person's chacha in Hindi means father's younger brother. Okay, so chacha was going to China. So one of the main guy who was there, who started the business, his chacha was going to China. Okay, so the boys, the team told the chacha that, please, if you're going to China, can you get 540 meters of cloth? Can you give the order there, and then we can receive the delivery here? But can you please go and give the order? Chacha was very happy. Chacha said, yes, definitely, I'll help you. So Chacha decided to go to China. See, Chacha sat on the plane, decided to go to China for his own work, and then to help the children with the 540 meters of raw material. Now Chacha came back, but Chacha came back after the date of the balance sheet. Chacha came back after the date of the balance sheet. Now I would like you to see the year first. Okay, that is 2020. See the month, when does Chacha come back after the date of the balance sheet, that is after 31st March. Look at the country Chacha visited, that is China. So I want to ask you one thing. Along with the 540 meters of cloth that Chacha is going to come back with, what else is he going to bring from China? There's a high possibility that he is going to bring in the coronavirus, correct? So now Chacha comes from China and he brings in coronavirus, and now everybody is affected by it. You can see everybody, okay, unwell. That is, Chacha came back with coronavirus and infected everyone. In fact, everyone, even Chacha was unaware. Okay, he also didn't know how serious the virus was. But as soon as he came back, he realized that no, he had done a big mistake. Okay, now everybody was coughing and everything, and everybody thought that they are now gone. Okay, they are now gone. Now there is no helping them. So they quickly went to the doctor, and the doctor told them that this is the medicine that I can give you right now. You can have this and wait and see how it reacts. Okay, so doctor took tests and gave the prescription to them, and the doctor then saw whether how they are going to recover. But the important thing is the doctor gave them the prescription. Okay, this is how the story goes. Okay, let us revise the story, then we can go ahead. Okay. Okay, on 10th, we had a very grand opening. Okay, the shop started. For 20 days, we did our analysis. Why isn't anybody coming to the shop? Why isn't anybody coming to the shop? We are just wondering about that. On 30th, we decided to give out samples. Okay, we decided to give out samples. We thought it's a better strategy because if we give out free samples, maybe people the quality may return back. Now, for that, we decided that we have to, they estimated basically that they need 540 meters of raw material, but then they can, cut clothes out of it and then they it and give it as samples also. So they estimated that 540 meters of cloth will be required and will be required from China. Who was going to China? Chacha was going to China. Chacha is nothing but father's younger brother in India. He was going to China. So when Chacha took the flight, went to China, he came back after the date of the balance sheet. Okay. So again, he brought with him what coronavirus and he infected everyone with the coronavirus and everybody thought that they are now gone. Okay, they are now gone. Now, finally, the chacha and the kids they went to the doctor. Doctor gave them a prescription. Okay. Now, this is in relation to your 500 series. Now, let's see this. 510 is opening balances. 512 20 is analytical procedures. 530 is audit samples. Okay. So 10th we have our opening. Correct. So with that you have to remember 510 that is balances. 20 days we analyzed what is going wrong. So you have to remember with that analytical you have 30 with 30 you can remember 530 that is your samples we decided to give sample that is sampling audit sampling then 540 is estimated that is nothing but your SA 540 that is accounting estimate then 550 chacha goes to China correct chacha goes to China that is nothing but related party transactions 550 chacha of course chacha is not covered in the definition of relatives see the Companies Act but here we can take it as because it is Chacha China, church is same. That is why I've taken it as relatives. You can think it of as like that. Okay, so 550 is related party transaction. 560 Chacha returned after the date of the balance sheet. That is nothing but subsequent events. 570 is going concern. Okay, they all thought they are now gone. They all thought they are now gone. That is called that we'll take it as going concern. We'll remember it by gone. The word gone. We'll remember it by going and finally, you have 580 that is written representation. That is, doctor give them prescription. Written representation is given in writing. Written representation. Very easy. So this is what we see in. This is what we see. Okay, I hope it is very easy to remember, very easy to understand. Okay. Now let's look at whatever we have done till now, and let's see what all have we got till here. Okay. 200 is objectives. Okay, 200 is objectives. Then we have around 210 that is terms of agreement. Then we have 220 quality control. 30 document. Okay, that is 30 areas. 240 covering later. 250 we have the laws compliance. 60 is communication to TC and 260 another says your room. Okay, I hope when these points are coming, your story is running in your mind, and you're basically in that story. After that, you have 300. That is your plan. The girl tells about the audit plans. The 300 plans. The boy says no. Think bigger. That is reality. Then they read 500 books. They realize that in business risk, they need to give an effective response. After that, risk, if it is not managed, it can lead to misstatements. And finally, it can be fraud, that is your fraud set. Yeah. There's 240, that is a lion eating a ring. Okay, that's in the time. After that, we have 510 opening balances. We just did that. 520 analytical procedure. 530 sampling. 540. Then we have 550 related party transaction. Chacha goes to Chacha. 560 returns back after the date of the balance sheet. 570 going, or they are gone. 580 return report that doctor gives. Okay. These are the areas that we have done till now. Okay, I hope you're finding it very, very simple. Very, very. Okay. Now let's do something. Let's look at the smaller areas and let's see in relation to this part what all we can. Okay. Now tell me in relation to this part. Okay. Let's play a game. Okay. I'll tell you the standard number. You have to guess what it is related to. Okay. Now, if you're there and if you can give me a reply, it will be great. And try to give the answer in the chat area so that we can see it. If not, if you're seeing the lecture, after that or something, then don't no problem. You can just try to answer this question. The first is 210. What do you understand by 210? Can you tell me what is 210? What is 210? What is 210? Okay, 210 is nothing but in relation to the agreeing the terms of the audit engagement. Remember the room, okay? They agree in the room too. Then let's take another standard. Let's remember SA 240. What is SA 240? That is very simple. Now let's try one. Let's try a few more, okay, so that you are getting used to it and you understand how it. Tell me what is SA 300. The girl comes up with how many plans? She comes up with 300. Okay, then you have the next part, that is, let's say, SA 320. Can you tell me what is a 320? That is nothing but the thing bigger, that is materiality, correct? After that, you have your SA 510. Okay, can you tell me what is SA 510? 510 is nothing but opening balances. Okay, opening balances, top open 10th of Jan. Okay. After that, you have SA 530, that is nothing but audit samples. Okay, audit sample. Then the next one you have, that is 550, that is nothing but Chacha goes to China. Remember? Okay, 550. Tell me what is it 200? We need to employ 200 persons. That is nothing. Objectives of the. I hope till here you're finding it comfortable. Everybody, very, very easy, very, very no issues at all. Very easy. Finding it very. Okay, pretty clear with this. Okay, few more questions. Okay. Tell me what does it say 580? That is nothing but written representation. Written representation. Then you have something called as SA 570. What do you call this as? It's called as going concern, correct? Then you have 560, 560, but your subsequent events. Okay, it is called as subsequent event. Okay. Then you have say 500. Can you tell me how many books they read? They read 500 books, but audit evidence. Okay. I hope this is helpful in for you to understand and for you to advise properly. Act because not stream at proper at your end. Okay. What should I do? Because there are hardly any. Because no response also from the. Also, one of the slides, my class's name appeared. Mark. Should I continue or should I? What do you suggest? These are some of the standards that we have seen. These are some of the standards that we have seen. Okay, very simple, very easy, something that you can find it very, very simple. Okay, let's go to the other area. Let's go to the other area. Now let's see this. Okay, now what happened is, now the next part is that now suddenly the test report is there. Okay, the test report is there. Okay, now when you see the test report, you see that the doctor says that आप लोग गए काम से. Now this means in Hindi that Hindi, but the doctor is saying that now you're gone. Okay, it's very difficult. We came into shock, like, why are you saying now we are gone? Okay, he says, आप लोग गए काम से. Here the main word that to take is काम. Okay, काम actually means work, but it also in slang it means that you're now gone. Okay, that is आप लोग गए अब काम से. Now what happens is when doctor says that we worry, so he tells us that see you have to modify your habits. So आदत को modify करो. आदत means habits. So आदत को modify करो. Doctor asks us to modify our habits. And as soon as we modify it, he tells us, we ask him, what to modify. He's like, drink boiling water. Okay. Pray to God. Okay. Say Om, 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 Om regularly. Okay. So we'll call it as Eom Om for this answer. Okay. Just Eom Om. Again, this is not meant to be any insult to any religion. Okay? It's just to understand in a particular way. Okay. So doctor says Eom Om Japo. Okay. And then finally, the doctor is like, okay, compare your other information regularly. What do you understand by other information? It means your thermometer, okay, your oximeter, and all these things you have to check regularly to understand whether there is an issue in your what do you call system, okay, in your body. So doctor says all these things. Okay, again we'll say doctor first tests us. After seeing the test, he says that आप लोग गए काम से. We are like very very sad. We don't know what to do now. So doctor says कि modify your habits. आदत को modify करो. So after he says आदत को modify करो, doctor tells us कि okay now say om 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 regularly. That you are like thanking God that God is saving you, or you are praying to God. That's called om om japo. Okay, we'll call it om om japo. Okay, just for the answer. And doctor also asks us to compare other information regularly. Now other information can mean the thermometer or the oximeter and all. Okay. So now what are these areas? This is SA 700 test report. Then you have 701, that is what it matters. 705, that is modify karo aadat ko. That is your modified opinion. Then om is nothing but 706, that is emphasis of matter paragraph, other matter paragraph. Okay. Then you have compare, that is comparative information, corresponding figures, and comparative financial statement. And then you have SA 720. Okay. Now the areas that are not there for CA intern, I'll tell you, but all the areas are definitely there for CA final. So I'll tell you about that too. Sorry. Now what all have we done? Let's revise from the beginning. Okay, first objectives 2.210 is terms of the agreement. To quality control 40 covered later, which we have done. 250 is laws compliance. Okay. 260 is communication with those charged with governance. 265 is internal deficiency. Then you have 300. The girl gives us 300 plans. Boy says think bigger. That is reality. 500 is evidence. Okay. With evidence, we realize that in business there are risks. Response to the risk is important. Can be there. And finally, 240 is. After that, you have the opening is done on 10th. That is 10th of 20 days. We wait. That is analytical procedure. We analyze. We decide on the 30th day, 30th of Jan, that we are going. We decide that we need estimated of 514 cloth from China. Chacha is going to China. That is party transaction. Chacha comes out to the date of the balance sheet. That is he brings Corona. So now we think that they are gone. That is finally 580 is. Next area 700. The doctor checks our test report. That is report. 701 आप लोग गए काम से. That is key audit matter paragraph. Okay. Then 705, that is you have to change its आदत को modify करो your habits. 706 is say om 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 regularly or om japo. Then you have compare other information. Okay. And finally you compare your comparative information corresponding figure and statement. Finally you have your other information. Okay. Very simple. Now there are other areas which you can remember in simple ways, and there's a very easy way to remember also. I'll tell you. During lockdown, what happened? Anything that was not okay in your house. For example, if the light went out or the bulb is not working properly, okay, or the light is not working properly, you have to change it yourself. Okay. Second thing is the fan is not working. You have to change. You have to fix it yourself. You have to see videos and see what is to be done, and you have to fix it yourself. Third is if for example in my house the house door bell that was not functioning properly during lockdown, and no electrician was available in the month of. It happened in the last week of March. Okay, so doorbell it was not having any sound. We got worried because anybody who is coming and if suppose if of course we are not handling anything, but any kind of bell, any person who regularly comes to the house and rings the bell